When I was on the board of directors, President Gary Kidwell asked for volunteers to lead the strategic planning committee. It was a new idea. We hadn't done it before. It was a priority for him. And he's looking around the table, waiting for volunteers, and he's kind of looking at me. And a couple people raised their hand and they volunteered, and Gary said, "No, I think we need somebody else." And he looks around the room and he looks at me like this and he's staring at me. And I kind of ignored him because I didn't know anything about strategic planning. And then he said, "No, I think we need somebody else." And he keeps looking at me and keeps looking at me. And I said, "Gary," I said, "I'm happy to participate. I cannot lead this." He said, "You are exactly the person that needs to lead this committee." So that's one of my stories. So I got sucked into that, or volunteered for that, I guess, might be a better way to put that. And yeah.
Did you have trepidation taking that on?
A little bit. I just kind of went out and learned about it. You know, there's a lot of information on the internet, figured it out, and we had a great committee, worked for probably 4 years, and then we continued to work on it after that, so it's a part of our culture now. All thanks to Gary. So I'm pretty proud of that. That was a lot of effort by a lot of people, but we put some good solid processes in place to make sure it doesn't fall apart. So I'm pretty proud of that. There are some other issues that came up during the year that we addressed, but I think strategic planning is probably the big one. I think, I was already heavily involved. I'd served on the regular board. I was doing the strategic planning, and the year after I was off the board, I continued with the strategic planning work, so I was updating the board anyway. It just kind of seemed like a natural progression. Obviously, I was very honored to be selected. It wasn't like I expected it, but it just seemed like a logical next step. It's a 5-year deal. So for 9 years, I was at all the board meetings. So this last Sunday was my first Sunday without a board meeting.
What'd you do?
I met with some of our past presidents that I hadn't met before. So that was nice. It was nice to be able to hang out. Cummins has been a long-standing member of EGSA. Earlier in my career, I started to lead the sales application engineering group, and I was, I guess, delegated to represent Cummins at EGSA. So that's how I started attending and enjoyed it right away. The first convention I came to was in 2003. It was in Nashville, and I was just really struck by how welcoming everybody was. I went on an afternoon tour of the city of Nashville, and there were a lot of couples on the bus, and then there was me, and everybody was so kind. Ken Niekamp and his wife Judy were amazing. So they were two of the first people I met here, and I feel like they've been friends ever since. And then the first day I went to, the first day of meetings that we had, Bob and Joe Hoffich both turned around and introduced themselves, and I've been friends with them ever since too. So ever since that first convention, it's been amazing. I can be at the bar and I'm having dinner or drinks with someone from CAT, Generac, MTU, and we're all there together having a drink, and you never know that we all work for competing companies.